Oh my gosh. Good morning, everyone. I think it's Thursday. Yeah. So happy Thursday. I'm just about to get a workout in. Was on a call this morning. That's why I'm a little bit late. But I wanted to log in and just talk a little bit about the post I just made for the probiotics. So if you are new to taking a probiotic, I do highly suggest that you start with the Arbonne Digestion Plus, which has now been rebranded to Gut Health on our website. So the reason I'm suggesting that is because it also has 11 digestive enzymes in it. It also has a prebiotic in it, which is very important. You get both actually, pre and probiotics. And then it also has something called lactase in it. So if you are somebody that is currently consuming dairy, and you're not, 100% sure whether or not what you're eating has some dairy or lactose in it, then this is really going to help you break down that molecule, which is super hard for humans to digest, which is lactose in, your milk, your yogurt, stuff like that. Okay. Until you're able to kind of wean off on that dairy and not have it in your diet at all. The dairy milk, I should say, because you can still, of course, have cheese here and there, and I'll coach you through that in the coming weeks, but don't worry about that right now. But I do suggest start with that one, and you can throw it inside of your protein shake. You can throw it inside of a water and maybe add something else to it like lemon or whatnot, and then just down the hatch. I also recommend, if you're somebody that really struggles getting greens in your diet, we do have a greens balance too. And once again, like if you're not consuming enough fruits and vegetables, that's probably where some of your weight loss, hiccups are coming from, because it's full of fiber, it's full of nutrients and vitamins and minerals that you probably aren't getting from, say, like protein sources specifically, or carbohydrates, like when I'm talking about like breads and pasta. Fruits and vegetables are considered a carbohydrate, and we'll once again be breaking these things down as we go along in the group here. But if you don't get enough fruits and vegetables into your diet, then the greens balance is an excellent way to kind of start your morning off. You can put a scoop of the greens balance, which is 37 fruits and vegetables, and it's got spirulina in it. There's so many great things inside of this little product. And then you can chuck your Digestion Plus, which is now called Gut Health, right inside of that green shot, and then down that first thing in the morning. You can also add apple cider vinegar to that just to get everything kind of moving. This would be after you've drank your room temperature water, and if you wanted to add lemon to that, that's totally fine as well. And then I had a few questions already again about intermittent fasting, so I thought I would just kind of get this out of the way. Listen, like I said last night on our live Q&A, intermittent fasting is not for everybody. And just because it works for some people, it might not necessarily work for you. But I would encourage you to experiment with it a little bit more, because it is a very effective weight loss strategy. And it's all about consuming less calories because your window is restricted. So here's an example. I start eating for the day around 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which means that I do not consume any food until 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been doing fasting for, it's going on probably 5 years now, maybe a little bit longer. And I honestly fell into intermittent fasting. I didn't even know what the heck it was when I started. I was working my 6-figure job. I quit because it was controlling my life. As you might know from my story, it was causing me to gain weight. Stress was absolutely through the roof. It was destroying my health, my relationships, my happiness. So once I left that job, we were actually flipping a property. And we went to town. It was like the day that I resigned from my job was the day that we closed on the house, and it was demo day. And I just remember this so clearly, that we were working so hard on renovating the home that by the time I realized that I hadn't eaten anything and I only had like coffee or waters throughout the day, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock or whatever. And then it's like, oh, I didn't even realize it. But my body adjusted to that like dramatically. When I resigned from my job, I was about 25 pounds heavier than I currently was, or am, I guess, today. And within like maybe 3 months, I would say 3 or 4 months, I had dropped down to my original weight. Yes, it had something to do with fasting, but obviously stress was reduced. And in addition to that, fasting helps to reduce the stresses on your body, because when you're eating something that's inflammatory, such as like a saturated fat or, maybe a heavy carbohydrate, then your body is kind of, doesn't know how to receive that. It doesn't know how to metabolize that. So it's already kind of in a stressed out state. And then plus, if you're somebody, that drinks a ton of caffeine, then you're just going to continue to add cortisol, which is the stress fat storing hormone. And that's why you're kind of going into this cycle where you think you're doing all these things right, but you're actually not. Fasting helps with so many different things other than just weight loss. I mentioned this last night, but it's also about your cognitive ability. You'd be surprised how sharp you become and how quick-witted you are when you are in a fasted state, because there's something called a human growth hormone as well. And this human growth hormone, it actually starts to increase in production when you are in a fasted state. So there's certain stages, and that's why the most popular form of fasting is 16 hours fasted, meaning you have 0 calories. You can still drink water, you can have lemon water, you can have black coffee, you can have black tea, herbal teas, things that have 0 calories, okay? During that 16-hour fast. So you're still absolutely recommended to consume a ton of water, because you're basically detoxing your body and you're giving your body a chance to attack your fat cells, as opposed to going, say, directly towards your muscle mass for energy. Because what's going to happen is your muscles are going to store the energy, which is actually what you kind of want, more so than your fat cells. So when you're in a fasted state, what happens when your body, moves around, when you're walking or when you're working out, when you're just at rest, your body still needs calories and energy, which is basically calories, to function. So what's going to happen is your body is going to start to attack those fat cells for energy, which means that's where the weight loss comes in. And weight loss is all about being in a caloric deficit. And you'll be surprised, it's really hard to say consume 3,500 calories in 8 hours, because it's just like you would have to literally be eating every 5 minutes. And that's not the case. When you're breaking your fast, it is super, super important for you to break it properly. You don't want to just have a source of healthy fats or a source of only protein. You want to make sure that you are pairing, yes, protein, absolutely 100%. And it would be anywhere between 25 to 30 grams of protein is what I would recommend. And again, you can use a shake, you can use a meal, you can use whatever you want as a snack in terms of that protein source. And then you need to pair it with something else, such as a healthy fat or a carbohydrate, or like half and half of each. Okay, so the perfect thing to break a fast with would be, yes, you can use a protein shake, but if you want a whole meal, it'd be something like a chicken breast or any other type of protein source that is around that 25 to 30 grams. And then vegetables, absolutely. So it doesn't have to be raw. You can cook them in something like a grapeseed oil, or you can have a salad, just something that's going to get that fiber into your system, because you're waking everything up at that point. Your body's been utilizing your fat for energy, and now you're trying to nourish it back to basically start revving up your metabolism. And that's also why I recommend that if you can do your fasting in the morning, I would recommend putting your workout in early on in that fast. So my schedule looks like this. I stop eating around between 10 o'clock at night. Okay, and then I wake up in the morning, and as you know, I usually don't have something to eat between 1 and 3 o'clock. And because I've been doing fasting so much, I don't have to be so obsessed with the clock. And that's the thing. I don't want you to be, oh my God, it's 1:05 and I have to wait until 2 o'clock to break my fast. If you are ready to break it and you've gotten 15 hours in, or even, 14, then go for it, okay? The longer you extend that fast, of course you're gonna be hungry. Guys, this is a very normal thing. Without having an eating disorder, I think I need to really hone in on this, and I'm not promoting eating disorders. That's not what fasting is for. It is to teach you how to shrink your stomach, shrink basically the amount of calories that you need to function. Like right now, I am not hungry at all. But I've never been somebody that is hungry in the morning. So if you are someone that is hungry in the morning, then we can adjust your clock where you start fasting more so earlier in the evening. So then you're still getting your 7 hours of sleep, 6 hours, whatever you're sleeping there, where you're not eating, and then you just extend it a little bit more in the morning. And that's the other thing I recommend. If you can possibly do this, I would recommend getting your workout in fasted. That human growth hormone is spiked, which is responsible for lean muscle, production. So as your hours of fasting go up, that human growth hormone production goes up. And that's why you're noticing too, there's a lot of people that do like HIIT training or cardio training on an empty stomach, because you're going to burn more fat cells. But if you can incorporate lifting weights, resistance training during that fasting period, you're going to do your muscles justice by increasing muscle mass. Obviously your human growth hormone production is up, and you're still burning fat. So it's a win-win situation. And then afterwards, you know, if you're somebody that needs to eat after your workout too, again, we can just adjust that clock a little bit. Don't be so obsessed about the 16-8. There is also different types of fasting where you can fast for 24 hours, 48 hours. I don't really necessarily agree with this analogy. I mean, at some point I do feel like it's a little bit scary, especially if you're like brand new to fasting. There is definitely such thing as a 24-hour fast, but I would kind of leave that till the future, and it's not really necessary right now, because we're trying to train your digestive system and shrink your stomach to receive less calories than you have. Weight loss is all about being in a caloric deficit, 100%. Calories are energy, energy is food, and if you're eating too much, it doesn't matter how much you're working out, it doesn't matter how much healthy foods that you're having, you're never going to lose weight. Of course, we have to think about mindset as well. Okay, so you need to be in a caloric deficit and you need to move for more. Period, end of story. So why they always say, you know, work out, eat less, because you're burning calories when you're working out. So I would recommend trying to get that workout in fasted. And if you are new to fasting, I'm going to pre-warn you, you will feel maybe a little bit dizzy. You will feel hungry. It's very normal, okay? And it's not an eating disorder. I'm going to premise that once again. It is very normal for you in the beginning to feel hungry when you're in a caloric deficit. Because think about it, you've been feeding your body, let's call it 3,500 calories, 3,000 calories every day for the past, even if it's only a year. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3, maybe it's like 6 or 7 months. It doesn't matter. Your body is used to receiving that amount of calories every single day. So what happens on the internal piece here is that your body knows that, okay, I don't have to necessarily use this 1,000 calories to burn energy, because I know I'm going to get more at lunchtime. And then I know I'm going to get another 1,000 calories or whatever it is, 800, whatever, at dinner time. You see what I'm saying? So your metabolism in your body is so used to being fed this amount of calories that it doesn't know how to utilize that to burn fat. And that's where fasting comes in. Okay, so when you're in a caloric deficit, let's call it, say, even if it's 2,500 calories or 2,000 calories, that deficit there is going to be the difference between you burning that extra pound or 3 or 5 of fat than it would be if you did not be in a caloric deficit, if you did not fast. Plus, again, it helps fight off disease, inflammation. It's been proven to help with cancer. Like it's just crazy, the benefits of fasting. Fasting has been around for 70 years. Okay, so this is not just like a new fad to the health and fitness industry. It's been way more predominant lately, but there are so many people, whether they're competitors with, you know, competitions, or it doesn't matter, a bodybuilder, you know, a performance athlete that practice fasting, okay? And again, if you're new to it, I don't recommend more than 3 days a week until your body starts to adjust to that. 4 maybe. It's not necessary for you to go above 5. That's what being in a caloric deficit is. It's over that week period. And that's why flexible dieting is so popular, because that means that you can kind of enjoy what you need to enjoy over the weekend, or maybe one day during the week. If you feel like having pizza, or if you feel like having, I don't know, Chinese food, it doesn't matter. Because as long as your whole week ends up being in a less caloric deficiency than maybe you were eating a couple months prior, you're still going to be able to lose weight, okay? And it's not just about losing weight. I know that's super important. It's also about establishing that right mindset. It is establishing, you know, having better self-confidence is super important. We all know that. Because none of us want to feel like crap every single day. We want to feel confident. We're women. We like to look good. We like to feel good. You know, we like to feel sexy, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So yes, it's really important for weight loss, but it's also got so many other benefits attached to it. And I hope that kind of clears the air. So when you're breaking your fast, once again, make sure you've got some good quality protein, the best your money can buy. And what I mean by that is if you can afford to buy organic, free range, you know, whatever it is, then buy it. If you can't, just try and get the best source possible, okay? And you'll be able to read those labels. We're gonna talk about that again in this program. Another few things with the fasting is for sure you need to make sure your water intake is absolutely, excuse me, practice what you preach at the forefront of everything that you do. And the black coffee, the black tea, once we talked about the caffeine intake yesterday, just be cautious. I don't recommend more than 2 cups a day. And again, before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so you have an opportunity to decompress before you go to sleep at night and your liver's not over functioning, etc. I don't know if I have anything else on fasting other than you might have heard like carb backloading and stuff of that nature. That's kind of coming in with the fasting. It goes hand in hand, and that's what I mean by being in a caloric deficiency for that full week time frame. Just trying to think if there's anything else I would recommend. Just be cautious again about how you're feeling. And once again, it is very normal to feel, you know, hungry. It's normal to feel dizzy, but that should go away. So give your body some time to adjust. This is where I wanted to go with that. A lot of the times we are such people that get discouraged almost immediately with weight loss, with a health and fitness journey. It takes time. And I've given the analogy to my girls and my last clients, you know, in the previous groups multiple times, but think about a smoker. If you quit smoking, what's going to happen on the inside is going to happen first before anything on the outside happens. So if you quit smoking, your lungs start to clear. You can, you know, you're breathing a little bit better. You start to, you know, decompress and detoxify your system. Whereas the clearer skin, the whiter teeth, the whatever the case is on the outside, less wrinkles, you just look healthier. You know, you don't have that yellowing or that smell, if you will, happens last. It's the same thing for weight loss. So even though you'll notice at the beginning too, like clearly we're going to be working pretty hard at this, but you're going to notice too that you're going to start to drop some weight, and we will talk about getting on a scale another day. I don't want to talk about that now. But you'll notice that in the beginning, you're going to start to lose some weight, and then you might plateau a little bit, and then you're getting on that stupid scale, which we won't be getting on anyway. So don't worry, that's to come. You're going to notice that there's not really any changes. So then you start to feel like, what the hell? Like you get defeated. Why is this not happening for me anymore? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, tell me I'm wrong, right? This is exactly what you're going through. You're not realizing that the scale's not going up. And most of the time, if you're having fluctuations on a stupid scale, which by the way, I do not own one and I don't recommend that you do either. I recommend to chuck it out into the garbage this week. If today is your garbage day, pick up the scale and throw it outside, okay? Or donate it, whatever you want to do. So the thing is, most of the time with our fluctuations of our weight, we are actually only gaining or losing water weight, depending on our time of month, depending on how much water you drank yesterday, how much hydration, or was your body, you know, not responding well to something that you ate, even if it was healthy. Okay, so you can't be so focused on that damn scale. You got to be focused up here. So the changes are always going to happen internally first, which is a really good thing. It's a good thing, okay? Because as we go, these are long-term sustainable habits. These are not like, okay, we're going to get together for, 30 days. I'm going to lose 5 pounds and I'm never going to do this again. It's going to come back, and it's going to come back 10 times worse. This is long-term. This is for the rest of your life. This is not just for 90 days, 30 days, 60 days. So hopefully that gets through to you in your mindset. I hope that you got a really good, information on fasting. So if you just joined me, go back to the beginning, listen to it, please. Yes, Mary Beth, fasting is definitely really good for your immune system and anti-aging. It definitely helps. Jennifer's asking me how much water you should be drinking. Yeah. Okay. So There's no such thing really as drinking too much water unless literally you are drinking a pool every day. I mean, it's super important for you to drink water, and I just would say focus small at the beginning. You don't want to start, say, drinking 10 glasses of water a day if you don't even drink 2. Start just adding 1 glass a day until you're comfortable with that amount, and then add more and more and more. The thing is, I said this yesterday too, like if you're someone that has herbal teas or a lot of hydrating foods like cucumber and watermelon, lettuce, stuff like that, that have really good content of water in it, yes, it counts towards your water intake, but honestly, drinking water is so widely underutilized, it's ridiculous, because water does so much for your body, your immune system, your digestion, your metabolism, your skin, your hair, your nails, your body, your weight loss. Like you need water to survive, and absolutely I would recommend, yes, around a gallon, but it depends on your body weight. And I would just really focus on small steps at a time. Jennifer, you don't want to say, okay, I'm waking up tomorrow and I'm going to have like 75 cups of water, and hopefully I'll be able to maintain this. So just start small, celebrate the small successes, and make sure you're getting your water intake. Just always be sipping on it. That's what I would recommend. Always have water close to you, okay? So ladies, again, if you're just joining me, please go back to the beginning and re-listen. It would be super important. Hi, Anna. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Maribeth. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm logging off. This is all about intermittent fasting and how you can really incorporate this into your lifestyle for your weight loss journey. See you later. Bye.